appointing to Oba Clement Adesuyi Astrop Ajimoko III as the new Owa Obokun of Ijesaland. Governor Adeleke, while speaking at the event, congratulated the monarch and the sons and daughters of Ijesaland for this new era. He prayed that the reign of the new Owa Obokun would be peaceful and that Ijesaland would witness significant development. The governor told the monarch that the time for competition is over and he should now assume the role of father to all. In his remarks at the well-attended event, the new Owa Obokun Adimula Oba Astrop thanked the entire Ijesha people, the governor, members of the state cabinet, state and federal elected and appointed officials, other traditional rulers, eminent indigenes of Ijesaland from within Nigeria, and the diaspora, members of the royal families and well-wishers for their support and encouragement before, during, and after the selection process. And once his appointment had been ratified by the state government, it will be recalled that Oba Adesuyi Astrop was elected by the kingmakers last Friday, and subsequently, Governor Adeleke approved his appointment as the new Owa Obokun of Ijesaland. However, I must state that the process through which Oba Astrop, a former deputy governor during the administration of Isiaka Adeleke, the elder brother of the incumbent governor, emerged, has been faulted by his kinsmen, including the Ofokutu, Fajemisin, and Arimoro royal families of the Bilaro Oluodo ruling house. For instance, the Arimoro royal family has criticized the process that led to the selection of the new Owa Obokun, describing it as a charade and a breach of established Ijesha tradition and a gross abuse of the judicial process. A statement signed by the global coordinator of the Arimoro family lineage, Prince Adegoke Arimoro, described the actions of the Ijesha kingmakers and the Osun State government in selecting the Owa Obokun as ignoble and sacrilegious. The statement also called on Ijesha indigenes, both at home and abroad, to stand against the imposition of the Owa and to defend the dignity, respect, and integrity of their heritage. Additionally, there have been concerns among residents that the new monarch should have completed the required traditional rites before being presented with the staff of office. However, a statement issued by the media team of the Owa Obokun, Oba Clement Adesuyi Astrop, notes that the monarch will immediately proceed to seclusion, where the remaining traditional rites will be observed. So, on the program this morning, we'll be speaking with one of the contenders for the throne of Owa Obokun of Ijesaland, Prince Kayode Arimoro, a former palace aide to the late Owa Obokun, Gabriel Adekunle Aromolaran, Honorable Gbenga Fowowe, and the State Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Oluomo Kola Po Alimi. Okay, we have Prince Kayode Arimoro joining us on the program this morning. Good morning, Prince Kayode Arimoro. Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. Your family has raised concerns about the process leading to the selection of Oba Astrop. Could you tell what aspects of the process you find contentious?
Foremost grandfather, Owa Obokun, which is the Owa Obokun of Ijesaland, is not just any kind of Oba. It's a throne that is referred to as imperial majesty. So when you have a process where people that are supposed to play a ceremonial role, according to the to chief law, the state government is only supposed to play a ceremonial role by ascending to names that the Agba Ijeshas and the ruling houses have submitted after completing all the necessary traditional rites. So the process is wrong from start to finish. It was hijacked by the state even before the race began. It was hijacked by the state apparatus with the help of certain Ijesha people. which is what I find unacceptable. The newly select Owa for something that was done by 5 kingmakers, voted in by 5 kingmakers in the local government. I don't know how to reconcile that. I don't know how I, as a person, as a prince of Ijesaland, that understands the rights and tradition and processes, that knows that this is the first time in the history of our land for an Owa to be presented Opa Ashe without completing Ikpebi, without even starting the process of Ikpebi, it cannot be comprehended. And so the whole process is wrong. The people that are supposed to have this done are the kingmakers and the ruling house. When you look at the correspondences, you see the local government issuing letters to tell you that they are starting the final selection of Owa. It is not their role. And so when things are not done the right way, proper communications are not done, Ifa is not was not consulted, Olokun was not consulted, Ogun was not consulted. This is not a political appointment or a political anointment. This is something sacred that our foremost father and our forefathers and ancestors left to us. So people do things, and many years down the line, people start having sudden death, or their lineages start fizzling out, become unsuccessful, run crazy, run mad. They go to churches to pray, but they have sinned against the very nucleus and core of our ancestors, of the things that binds us together as Ijesaland. So we cannot say we do not want crisis, no, but we want respect for the rule of law. In the first instance, there was a court order, an ex parte order that says the local government, the executive governor, the attorney general, and the commissioner for chieftaincy should restrain clearly from taking any, in quote, further process towards installing or selecting Owa Obokun of Ijesaland. Why was this done? It further went to say, or even declaring and naming Chief Adesuyi Hastrop. This is clear. We are Nigerians. Most importantly, we are Ijesha people. This law was clearly stated, and what has happened is the exact contravention of those clear, well-defined letterings in the court. How can an Owa that has contravened the law to get to the position run the affairs of Ijesaland peacefully, and how can you run it with integrity when you got there through a crooked and mal-aligned manner? We are Ijeshas. We are enlightened people. This cannot happen. This cannot be allowed to stand. But I plead on everybody to just wait for the result in court. We believe that we as traditional people are supposed to be responsible for preserving our traditions. But some people that are core Ijesha people have desecrated on it because of their political careers or for whatever reasons. But we will match them money for money, power for power in the judiciary. And people should have their fingers crossed and be ready to go for that time when a true Owa will be selected through the proper process where no prince of Bilaro or Oluodo is disenfranchised. Right now, it was a process where people were disenfranchised, and the process was totally and utterly wrong, and it is unacceptable.
Okay, Prince Harimoro. The Harimoro royal family described selection of Oba Clement Adesuyi Astrop as a breach of tradition and a defiance to a court order. Will you say that for a highly revered stool of Owa Obokun of Ijesaland, the kingmakers will jettison tradition in the selection of a new monarch for such an esteemed throne?
So, if you look very well, Chief Adeni, who is the Risawe of Ijesaland, who I believe in a good society should have his statue everywhere in Ijesaland, especially during this period. For what? For standing his ground. He was not scared, and he's not scared of losing his position because our constitution is faulty. It puts our kingmakers and our chiefs as slaves under political officers, right? So most of the kingmakers, They have families to feed. They have children. They are scared for their life. So when you hold them at gunpoint as a state who believes they have all the powers in the world, and that is why, as a state government, who believe they have all the powers in the world, and why that is why they can easily contravene court order to insist on what they want those people to do. It only takes brave men. It takes men like Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, His Excellency. It takes men like Nelson Mandela that do not care losing that position, going to jail or whatever, as far as they are standing on the right path. And so I'm very happy that at least we have somebody that could hold the gates, even if it was falling with brimstone in the name of Babari Sawe, Chief Adeni. He's somebody we respect, and there was nothing wrong with other Agba Ijeshas insisting they will do the right thing. What is the worst case scenario? The state government will fire them. The law will bring them back. There are histories and there are precedents. But they were scared for their life. They did what they needed to do. I cannot speak to that because, as God will have it, I was not part of the illegal activities. The moment the court said they issued a restraining order, my family complied with that, and we held firm on our ground. And we knew, because it was obvious, these people dug a river. They knew the traps that were in the river. They were just looking for people that would swim with them. I feel so sorry for other princes that went ahead to buy the form that is dated after the restraining order or the injunction, because they just took them to a river where they do not know where the depots were in the river. So yes, they could have stood their ground, but honestly, you have to think of Nigeria the way it is. They didn't stand their grounds because they were scared for their life. And it will cost, these days that things are so tough in Nigeria, it may cost less than 50,000 naira to take somebody's life. I don't blame them for protecting their life, but they could have done better. Their inaction would have been better than their action. They could have abstained and disregarded any such order like Babari Sawe did, and Ijesha people would have supported them 100%. You see a new Owa and there were no celebrations overnight, all-night parties happening around in Ijeshaland. People are not blind. People want peace, but they are not blind. They know that politicians now are like emperors, and nobody wants to die, and nobody should die, and there should be no riot, there should be no crisis. We will depend on the holding lines, which is the judiciary. It may take time. And those that planned this, they knew from beginning that it was going to fail. They just wanted it to be in history that this person was named Owa. And this person's family were okay with it. So if at the end of the day, such family is banned from getting to that throne for desecrating or for aiding and abetting the desecration of our tradition, people should understand with that. But the law will speak ultimately.
Okay, before I let you go for now, because we still have this conversation in Yoruba, another guest is joining us live on the program, and I could see that Honorable Kolapo Alimi is trying to get on board. One of the issues listed by the Arimoro royal family in the selection of a new monarch is the 10 million naira development levy imposed on the aspirants. Could you provide some clarifications on this?
First of all, according to the chief law, and when you do comparative analysis with other such chiefs in the Southwest region, it's really outrageous. But that is not even the matter. Because myself and my brother, Adesoji Arimoro, are renowned businessmen in Ilesha. And many youth would have... So paying the 10 million naira wasn't an issue, but it is illegal in two ways. First of all, there is no law supporting that fee. Second of all, it was dated, the letter and the instruction and the directives to buy the form was dated just 2 days after the restraining order, which stated that no, in quote, further action to be taken by the local government. amongst all other people that were other government that were restrained. So it is wrong. It's something wrong that was executed in the wrong way, and you will see that those that executed it were G3, and there's no confidence. They were just trying to complete a task that was given to them by a master you could not say no to.
Okay. Well, on a final note, before I let you go, Prince, what would be the next line of action on the part of Arimoro's family?
Arimoro, as you know, our father, Farutimi Okunade, also known as Arimoro. Arimoro, let's say, okay, who was a prince and warrior during the Kiriji War. He protected Ijesaland and its environs properly. Arimoro, let's say, okay, was a nickname that was given to him because of his strategy at decapitating his enemies on the hilltop. And one thing he fought for, he does not like people being cheated. So he didn't like the fact that our lands were being invaded. There was a time he went on exile, even when his kinsmen betrayed him at that time. His colleagues betrayed him. He went on exile, but he didn't lose focus. This is a case where we in this family are warriors. We fight with our mind by doing the right thing. So the way forward is to wait for the case in court. The cases in court, because they are going to increase. I expect the Afrobajes who were disenfranchised and were not allowed to vote to go to court. I expect those that understand our tradition to go to court. I expect concerned Ijesha elite that know the right thing and what can be done to go to court. The price of inaction is too much, because very soon, this is a political experiment. Very soon, we can forget about anybody being from any ruling houses. If they see that this is done and they have their way, tomorrow they are going to pick somebody that has served them with that have served them loyally doing their illegal activities. They will appoint that person and make that person Owa Obokun in the nearest future. And it's a shame that most people, most leaders in the southwest region have not cried foul of this. We're not talking about the political position. We're talking about the revered position of Owa Obokun of Ijesaland. It is something we all in the southwest must protect. A win for one is a win for all. A loss for one is a loss for all. We are being forced to lose our identity through political thuggeries and assassins, and people that are literally assassinating our tradition right before us. And we are assuming that we are powerless. But we trust the court, we trust the judiciary, and we shall get to the bottom of this, God's willing.
All right, thank you so much, Prince Kayode Arimoro. Thank you for coming on the platform to shed more light on what you perceive that took place during the selection process, in installing the Owa Obokun of Ijesaland. Thank you so much. All right, so welcome back. We have with us in the studios Honorable Benga Fowowe, a former palace aide to the late Owa Obokun, Dr. Gabriel Adekunle Arumolano. Thank you for joining us, sir. Please, can you? Okay. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you, Mr. Producer.
All right. Now, can you tell us what actually happened during the selection process? Because there had been hue and cry. Some names were omitted, were missing. Some got to the voting center. They could not find their names, and eventually they were disenfranchised. So, we want clarification from your side.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. What really happens during the selection process is a very clear-cut issue, because we have 13 Afrobajes. Out of the 13, the Saloro is still vacant. So we have 12. Then we now appointed the warrant chief. On getting to this selection all on that day, and before that, you know, most of the afobajers were installed by the late Oba Obokun. The selection officers, they did not disenfranchise anybody because there is a law and there is a procedure. Most of the afobajers, the high chiefs installed by the late Owa, they failed to comply with the Osun State laws on the issue of chieftaincy. They failed to fulfill all the requirements from the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs because the government, they are not paying them their salary. The late Owa paid them their salary. So they relaxed. Instead of going to the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to fill all the necessary forms before this time, they did not. So on getting to the Ministry of Chieftaincy Affairs, they discovered that the names of those who have died were in the forms. So, and the dead people cannot come and vote. And if they vote, if the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy allow them to vote, the court will overrule them. So instead of that, they now said you are not eligible to vote because you are not fulfill all your chieftaincy requirements from the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. But some people, they are saying that because Oba did not give them certificate. No, that is not the issue. The issue is that they failed to comply with the rules and regulations from the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs to perfect all their necessary papers, even though before the exit of our monarch, later Oba Obokun. So the fault is not on the part of the government. The fault is on the part of the afobajers who relaxed after their installation by the late Owa. So it is a very clear court issue. Nobody disenfranchised them. They disenfranchised themselves because they failed to go and comply with the rules and regulations from the Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs. Till the present moment of talking, their names were not on the list, on the file of the Ministry of Local Government as afobajers. That is the issue of disenfranchisement.
All right. Well, those people involved, they are not here at the moment to defend themselves. But what is in the public space now concerning what the one of the contestants said? I believe you listened to him when he was talking the other time. He made mention of court order ex parte motion that everybody should observe status quo and tradition has to be respected and all that. And eventually, parties involved could not respect that court order and they went ahead to observe that selection process. So how will you react to that, Honorable Benga?
Yes. You know, I think I'm not conversant with the court procedures, but I learned from them that it is an ex parte order. An ex parte order lapsed after 7 days. So, and looking at the process, even though the contestants, they will violate the restraining order, because after the restraining order or ex parte order, the contestant went ahead to pay for the forms and the nomination forms. So the contestant started the violation of the ex parte order. And the ex parte order, to the best of my knowledge and with the little experience I have in law, lapsed after 7 days.
Okay.
After the 7 days, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Then another thing people are asking is about the tradition proper. Before a king will be given a staff of office, seclusion process must be made and all that before. But the reverse is the case. And people are wondering why the rush?
No. Yes, it is true that the seclusion order, everything must be done. If you look at the staff of office, we have to thank Mr. Governor on this issue. Mr. Governor did not want the Owa Obokun of Ijesaland stool to be vacant. Looking at what is going on in Oyo, laughing now. 10 years, they will still be there. And Owa Obokun of Ijesaland is as a paramount ruler. The government try as much as possible to assist our tradition. And if you're looking at the presentation of Start of Office, that did not deprive the Owa Obokun to go on the seclusion. He will start it today, because according to our tradition, the Owa Obokun will go to Ijebu-Jesha and sit at the leg of Oba Ijebu-Jesha, and they have started the process today. Looking at the staff of office, yesterday, there is no, you cannot see our Ajimokotiri at the staff of office. It is plain, just to give us as a symbol, because they are in court. If you want to challenge anything now, you have to challenge.
Okay, they are in court.
Yes.
You are aware that they are in court?
I'm aware.
Okay.
Yeah, when they went to court ordinarily. They are suing the new Owa as a prince. But now, what if you want to sue Owa now, you will sue the Oba. I mean, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Clement Adesuyi Asro, Ajimoko the Tiri.
Okay.
You know, there is a difference between the two now.
I understand. And
you are suing Prince Clement Adesuyi Asro before.
Okay.
But as of today, if you want to do anything in court, you are going to address the issue of Oba, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Clement Adesuyi Asro. So there is a difference between the
okay,
issue.
Although I have a layman understanding about all this legal time, but one will look at it that will amount to a contempt of court. I don't know. I'm just asking you, Honorable Benga. I don't know.
You know, I said it is an ex parte order.
Yeah.
An ex parte order has lapsed.
Oh, you said
the court
so.
has to renew. The court has to renew the ex parte order.
Okay.
If they now renew it this morning, you know it's already belated.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Honorable Benga, for where I need to speak now for information and public enlightenment. Thank you for joining us, Honorable Kolako Alimi.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, our listeners at home.
Thank you. Before now, we had an extensive discussion with one of the contestants, Prince Kayode Arimoro. Already they have a position that the state government did not respect the court order that everybody should respect the status quo and respect the tradition. So what do you have to say about the whole process in the selection of the new Owa Obokun of Ijesaland?
Thank you very much. Let me start by congratulating our Baba, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Clement Adesuyi Asro, the Owa Obokun of Ijesaland, on his installation. I equally want to congratulate all the sons and daughters of Ijesaland on this over this new king. We pray that the tenure of our Baba Kabiyesi Owa Obokun Asro will be successful and bring tremendous benefit to Ijesaland as a whole. Now, having said that one, let me say that our government usually respect and refer the court and respect and refer the tradition. We know that it is not good for the stool of Owa to be vacant for so long. If you see what operates in the north, anytime there is a vacancy, it will be quickly filled. Look at the way the case of Oba of Benin, Look at the way it was handled. And even in these states too, look at the way, as at that time I was Commissioner for Local Government Efficiency Affairs. When Baba Oni of Ife Obasijuade died in 2016 around September, October, it was filled immediately after the end of the riots, less than 3 months. That's the beauty of our culture. It's not good. Look at what is happening to the Alaafin too now. It's very ridiculous. A situation whereby the stool will just be there for years and people will come with claim and counter claim. It's not good for our system. Having said that one, the government knows that when immediately there is a vacancy in any traditional stool now, you see all sorts of applications. Somebody who is qualified, somebody who is not qualified, everybody who want to occupy the throne. I know what they resort to. They will just look for one, create legal quack there, and then to make sure that they tie the hands of the government. In the instance case now, what happened was that even before the final right of our late Owa, some people just approached the court on 12. The final right for Owa was on 14th or thereabouts, some days to the final right. When the whole process has not even started, they approached the court and they got an ex parte application. Through an ex parte application, they got an interim order. When the whole process has not started, the government has not even started. Look at that. Just because they didn't want the whole thing to go home. And after the final right, the process commenced, they equally took part. So the third down matter was that the government had to go back to court to inform to the court because they got the order as interim order through ex parte order. For our listeners at home, the meaning of ex parte order is that somebody just approached the court on his own volition without the other party. The other party has not been heard. So the government, through the Ministry of Justice, approached, then they approached the court through another action, and that order was vacated by the same judge. That's what they don't know, because they got their order ex parte. The government also got another order ex parte, vacating the earlier order
we still
by
have
the same
this
judge
discussion on the
in
next
the
platform.
same court. And
Which
then
is
the court,
cool. Let's
the
receive your
government went
piece of
ahead
advice
to do
to the aggrieved
process.
parties.
As when you look at the entire process, is equally according to and legal. Now, coming back to the issue of some first and foremost, my advice to in Ijesaland, Kabiyesi, most of the kingmakers in Ijesaland, they are part two chiefs. That's what people of Ijesaland. It should be part two chiefs. They are not minor chiefs. They have classification for chiefs. In good gesture is under the chief law to others. We have and make sure that then we have minor chiefs. Minor chiefs are contestants in any contest. They are bound to be winners. And chiefs starting from all our in this context are not recognized chiefs or no fan. So just like Owa says, let everybody shift the sword. Kingmakers come around. The overall interest of the also part two. So whenever you want to